Have you ever asked yourself why you give so much of your time, your energy, and your attention to people who don't even value you? Why do you keep pouring from your cup until it's empty, yet no one bothers to fill it back? These are the questions most people avoid, but deep down, they hold the key to why so many feel lost, unworthy, and drained. Today, I want you to stop for a moment and really think about this, because if you understand it, your life can completely change. We live in a world that constantly demands our focus. Notifications, opinions, expectations, everyone wants a piece of us. And without realizing it, we give away our most precious resource, our attention. The truth is, where your attention goes, your energy flows. And if all your focus is on others, then tell me, what's left for you? That's why so many people feel like they are running in circles, always busy but never fulfilled. The first step to breaking free is to face this reality. Your value does not come from how much you give to others, but from how much you choose to give to yourself. Think about it. If you keep running after everyone's approval, you'll never hear your own voice. If you keep waiting for others to validate your worth, you'll live like a prisoner to their opinions. But the moment you decide that your time, your focus, and your energy are sacred, everything changes. Ask yourself right now, are you protecting your focus or are you wasting it? Also, are you wasting it? Because focus is not just about productivity. Focus is about life itself. What you focus on becomes your reality. If you focus on problems, your world becomes heavy. If you focus on negativity, your soul becomes restless. But if you focus on your growth, your peace, and your purpose, your life takes a completely new shape. That is the hidden truth most people never realize. Now I want to make you a promise. If you stay with me until the end of this message, you will not only understand why focus and self-value are the foundation of a powerful life, you will feel something shift inside you. You will walk away with a fire in your heart, a strength in your spirit, and a decision that could transform these very next months into the most meaningful of your life. But here's the challenge. To receive that reward, you must stay present. Don't just hear my words. Let them enter your mind. Let them sink into your heart. Because this is not just about motivation. This is about waking up the part of you that has been silent for too long, the part of you that already knows you are worth more than the distractions, the noise, and the opinions of people who do not care about your journey. Think of this video as a mirror. Each word you hear will reflect something back to you. Maybe it will remind you of the times you gave away too much. Maybe it will show you the moments you stayed silent when you should have spoken up. Or maybe it will remind you that you have been running after everyone else, forgetting to run toward your own destiny. But here's the good news. It's never too late. The power to shift, the power to rise, the power to reclaim your focus, it's already inside you. The truth is, people who value themselves attract a different kind of life. They attract respect. They attract opportunities. They attract peace. Why? Because the world treats you according to how you treat yourself. If you see yourself as valuable, people around you start to respect that boundary. If you respect your own time, others will learn to respect it too. But if you keep giving yourself away cheaply, people will take advantage of that every single time. So, let me ask you again, are you ready to finally focus and value yourself? Are you ready to stop living on other people's terms and start living on your own? Because if you are, then every word that follows from here will guide you step by step toward that transformation. And if you stay until the end, you will walk away with not just motivation, but with a decision that could change everything. This is your moment. Don't let it slip. Stay with me, and I'll show you how focus can rebuild your strength and how valuing yourself can rebuild your entire life. So many people spend their lives trying to prove themselves to others, yet they forget the most important truth. You were already valuable from the very beginning. Think about it. From the moment you were born, you carried a unique story, a unique gift, a unique purpose. But as life went on, society started whispering lies. It told you that your worth depends on your achievements, your possessions, or the opinions of people around you. And slowly, without even noticing, you started to measure yourself by standards that were never yours in the first place. That's why so many live in quiet frustration. They feel like no matter how much they give, no matter how much they achieve, it's never enough. And here's the truth. It will never be enough if you are chasing validation from the outside. Because no matter what you do, there will always be someone who criticizes, someone who doubts, someone who refuses to see your worth. If your self-value depends on their recognition, you will always feel empty. The real shift happens when you decide to stop begging for acceptance and start honoring yourself. When you remind yourself that your value does not decrease because someone fails to see it. When you realize that even if the world turns its back, your worth remains untouched. This is not arrogance. This is self-respect. Ask yourself, how many dreams have you abandoned because you feared what others might think? How many times have you stayed silent when your heart wanted to speak? How many times did you shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's comfort? Each time you did that, you gave away a piece of your value. But today, that cycle can end. Your value is not up for negotiation. It is not something that others get to decide. It is a truth you carry. And the moment you start believing in it again, your life begins to change. Distractions are the silent thieves of your life. They don't come with loud alarms, they come quietly, slipping into your day until you no longer notice how much of your focus they've stolen. It begins with small things, scrolling endlessly, saying yes to every request, filling your mind with noise that doesn't build you. But over time, those small leaks drain your energy, your clarity, and your purpose. Think of it like this. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you focus on grows. If you feed it with distractions, weeds will take over. If you nurture it with discipline and clarity, it will produce strength and peace. The reason so many people feel restless is because they have allowed their attention to be scattered everywhere instead of protecting it like the treasure it is. And here's the truth. Distractions don't just waste your time. They weaken your self-value. Why? Because every time you give in to them, you send yourself a message. You are not in control. You allow outside forces to dictate where your energy goes. And with each choice, you distance yourself from the person you could become. Ask yourself, how much of your day is spent on things that truly matter? How much of your focus is invested in what makes you stronger, wiser, and closer to your purpose? The answer is often uncomfortable. But facing it is the first step to change. The moment you decide to cut away distractions, you begin to send yourself a different message. I matter. My time matters. My energy matters. And once you believe this, you begin to rise above the noise. That is how focus is protected, and that is how true self-value begins to grow. Have you ever noticed how you can be in a crowded room, surrounded by laughter, noise, and company, yet still feel completely alone? That emptiness doesn't come from being without people. It comes from being without yourself. When your value depends on outside approval, you lose connection with your own soul. You become so busy pleasing, impressing, and adjusting that you forget who you really are. This is why so many people live with a quiet ache inside them. They laugh on the outside but feel invisible within. They give everything, yet deep down they wonder, does anyone see me for who I truly am? The painful truth is, the more you depend on others to validate you, the more you distance yourself from your own identity, and that distance feels like emptiness. Psychology teaches us that humans crave belonging, but belonging without authenticity is not real. If you must wear a mask to be accepted, you are not truly accepted. You're simply tolerated, and that's why the emptiness grows. because you are betraying yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. The solution begins when you stop chasing recognition and start seeking alignment. When you decide that it's better to walk alone in truth than to walk with crowds in disguise, that's when the emptiness begins to fade, because you are no longer abandoning yourself for the comfort of others. The more you value yourself, the less you need outside validation to feel alive. Real fulfillment comes when your worth is no longer borrowed from the opinions of others, but anchored deep within you. That is when you can finally stand in a room full of people and feel whole, not because of them, but because of you. One of the greatest acts of valuing yourself is learning how to say no. At first, it feels uncomfortable, even selfish. But the truth is, every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are saying no to your own growth, your own peace, and your own purpose. People often confuse kindness with endless availability. They expect you to always be there, to always say yes, to always sacrifice yourself for their comfort. But when you constantly give in, you begin to lose pieces of yourself. Who's self? You spread your energy so thin that you have nothing left for the things that truly matter. Saying no is not rejection. It is protection. It is protecting your time, your energy, and your dreams from being consumed by distractions that add nothing to your life. When you choose to say no, you create space for what truly deserves your yes. You create room for focus, for passion, and for the kind of progress that can only come when your life is aligned with your priorities. Of course, saying no comes with resistance. People may be surprised, even upset. But that is because they were benefiting from your inability to set limits. Stand firm, because every no you speak with courage is a yes to your own value. And the more you practice, the stronger you become. When you begin to say no, you naturally start to notice how much of your life was being consumed by unnecessary noise. Protecting your energy becomes one of the most valuable decisions you will ever make. Energy is the fuel of your life. Without it, your dreams, your goals, and even your daily responsibilities lose their power. That is why you must guard it as carefully as you would guard your most precious treasure. There are people who lift you up and people who drain. The difference is clear. Some conversations leave you inspired, motivated, and alive, while others leave you exhausted and questioning yourself. If you allow too much of the wrong energy into your life, you will constantly feel stuck and unfulfilled. Protecting your energy means choosing your company wisely, creating boundaries where they are needed, and refusing to entertain negativity that steals your peace. But it's not only about people, it's also about the habits you allow into your daily routine. The endless scrolling, the procrastination, the distractions, they may seem small, but together they quietly rob you of the energy you need for your higher purpose. The conversations they entertain, the people they keep close, the habits they tolerate, each one either adds to their energy or takes it away. Guarding your energy starts with awareness. Notice how you feel after certain activities or interactions. Do they leave you stronger, clearer, and more alive? Or do they leave you heavier, doubtful, and exhausted? This awareness helps you see where your energy is leaking, and once you see it, you can take back control. Sometimes this means walking away from negativity, even if it's familiar. Sometimes it means replacing mindless consumption with mindful creation, and often it means taking care of your body and mind, because fatigue and poor health silently steal energy from you every day. Protecting your sleep, choosing what you feed your body, and allowing yourself moments of stillness are not luxuries, they are necessities for staying strong. Energy is not infinite, but it is renewable. Every decision you make either replenishes it or depletes it. When you treat your energy as sacred, you begin to rise above the noise. You stop chasing every distraction and start building a rhythm that supports your purpose. And with both focus and energy working together, momentum becomes unstoppable. When your energy is guarded, the next step is to give space for silence. Silence is not emptiness, It is clarity. In a world that constantly demands your attention, silence becomes a weapon. It allows you to hear your own thoughts without the interference of outside noise. Too many people fill every moment with distractions, never giving their mind a chance to breathe. But when you create silence, you create room for answers that have been buried under the chaos. Clarity doesn't come from rushing or forcing solutions. It comes when you slow down and listen. Silence is where you connect with yourself on the deepest level, where your values and priorities reveal themselves without distortion. In these quiet spaces, you realize what truly matters and what is only stealing your time and energy. This is why people who practice stillness often appear stronger. They don't react to every challenge with panic because their minds are rooted in calmness. They know when to act and they know when to wait. Silence gives them the patience to respond wisely instead of emotionally. And in that patience lies power. When you learn to value silence, your focus sharpens, your energy stabilizes, and your direction becomes undeniable. Silence is not weakness, it is discipline. And in that discipline, you build the clarity needed to walk with certainty toward your purpose. Clarity brings understanding, but true transformation comes when you take full responsibility for your life. Many people spend years blaming circumstances, luck, or other people for their failures. They wait for the world to change, for opportunities to appear, or for someone to hand them what they think they deserve. But real power begins the moment you stop pointing fingers and start owning your life completely. Taking responsibility is not about guilt or shame. It's about acknowledging that every choice, every habit, and every reaction has shaped where you are today. And more importantly, it's about realizing that the same power is in your hands to shape where you go tomorrow. When you embrace this, excuses lose their grip, fear loses its authority, and you become unstoppable. Life responds to action, not complaint. The moment you stop waiting for permission or validation, you start moving in the direction of your dreams. You stop being a passenger in your own story and take control of the steering wheel. Every decision, no matter how small, compounds over time. Your choices today determine the momentum you will have tomorrow. Responsibility also means facing your mistakes with honesty. Every failure carries a lesson, and every lesson builds resilience. When you stop blaming and start learning, you turn setbacks into stepping stones. You stop being at the mercy of circumstance and start becoming the creator of your reality. Owning your life fully is liberating. It removes the chains of dependency, fear, and hesitation. It allows you to move with confidence, knowing that the power to change your life has always been within you. Responsibility gives you control, but control alone is not enough. To achieve lasting results, you need consistency. Motivation comes and goes like the wind. It is powerful when it strikes, but it cannot be relied upon. Consistency, however, is a quiet force that builds momentum over time. It is the repeated actions, the small steps taken daily, that lead to extraordinary results. Consistency transforms habits into results. It is in showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, that you create a life of progress. Motivation will inspire you for a moment, but discipline and consistency will carry you through every day, through every challenge, and through every setback. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they are inconsistent. They start strong, full of energy, but soon they falter when the initial excitement fades. The truth is, greatness is not achieved in bursts. It is built in persistence. The person who continues, who refuses to quit, eventually surpasses those who rely only on fleeting motivation. Consistency also strengthens self-belief. Each time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Each completed action is a confirmation that you are in control of your life. And that confidence compounds, giving you the courage to aim higher, to push further, and to achieve more than you thought possible. Consistency builds results, but the journey will not always be easy. Struggle is inevitable, and the path to growth is never smooth. Many try to avoid pain, discomfort, or challenges, thinking that success should feel effortless. The truth is, struggle is not the enemy, it is the teacher. Every obstacle you face, every challenge you endure, shapes your character and strengthens your resolve. When you embrace struggle, you stop fearing it and start learning from it. Each setback becomes a lesson, each failure a guidepost. Instead of asking, why me? You begin to ask, what can I learn from this? The people who achieve greatness are not those who avoid difficulty. They are those who confront it, adapt, and grow stronger. Struggle also teaches patience. Results rarely appear overnight. The most meaningful achievements are built through repeated effort, resilience, and a willingness to face discomfort without giving up. When you accept that hardship is part of the process, you stop wasting energy resisting it and start using that energy to grow. Most importantly, embracing struggle allows you to value yourself more deeply. When you overcome challenges through persistence, you see your own strength. You realize that no external circumstance can define your worth or limit your potential. You become someone who doesn't wait for life to be easy, but someone who rises to meet life head-on, prepared for anything. After learning to focus, protect your energy, build self-belief, stay consistent, and embrace struggle, you reach a point where you become unstoppable. This is not about being invincible or never facing setbacks. It is about developing a mindset that no challenge, no distraction, and no failure can derail you from your path. Becoming unstoppable means that your purpose drives every action. You no longer wait for permission or external motivation. Your internal compass guides you with clarity, discipline, and unwavering determination. You move forward because you have decided that nothing outside of you can dictate your worth or your progress. It is also about resilience. Life will test you in ways you cannot predict. But when you have mastered focus, energy, consistency, responsibility, and the acceptance of struggle, you do not break. You adapt. Every obstacle becomes a stepping stone, every criticism becomes fuel, and every failure becomes a lesson. You learn to bend without breaking, to rise after every fall, and to keep your eyes on the goal no matter how hard the journey becomes. The final truth is that becoming unstoppable is not about proving yourself to others. It is about proving to yourself that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. It is about living a life aligned with your values, your dreams, and your potential. And when you reach this level, the world begins to respond differently, not because it has changed, but because you have.